ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. The House of Sultan Chand Sons Private Limited extends a very warm welcome to CA Dr. G.S. Grewal and Mr. R.K. Khosla, hosts of today's accountancy webinar on the upcoming Common University Admission Test, and thanks all the participants for joining in. I'm sure today's discussion on CUET will stand all the examinees in good stead. A bit about the House of Sultan Chand Sons Private Limited now. We are pioneers in the field of book publishing in post-independence India, catering to students from pre-primary to university level, churning out over 500 regular titles, besides adding new ones to our stable year after year. Known for competently written, elegantly produced, and reasonably priced books, our publications are widely prescribed in reputed schools and colleges, not only in India, but also in some neighboring countries. Our authors are distinguished academicians, professors, and educationists with vast experience and expertise. We are proud to be associated with them. About the hosts of today's webinar now, please. CA Dr. G.S. Grewal. A practicing chartered accountant, Dr. Grewal has been rendering professional assistance to corporates for the past over 3 decades. And alumnus of the prestigious Shriram College of Commerce, he has also been engaged in teaching till date. This speaks volumes about his love for the subject. In fact, Dr. Grewal has many feathers to his cap. Besides being the co-author of over half a dozen accountancy books for various education boards, such as CBSE, IST, West Bengal Council of Higher Secondary Education, and Council of Higher Secondary Education, Odisha, he is also Member Committee NCERT for Development of Commerce Dictionary, Member Projects Development Group Accountancy NCERT, Member Committee for Development of E-Content on Accountancy for NCERT, Faculty for Teachers Training Program conducted by NCERT, Faculty for Teachers Training Program conducted by SCERT, visiting faculty to schools, colleges, and various institutes, Faculty Accounting Standards for Implementation of Accounting Standards in Educational Institutions, an initiative of the Ministry, Education Ministry, Government of India, UGC, AITC, CBSE, and ICI. Faculty Capacity Building, an initiative of E-Governance Department, J&K Government, and Member Board of Studies Academics, ICAI. Besides shouldering these responsibilities, Dr. Grewal regularly addresses seminars and workshops on accountancy for teachers and professionals across the country. We congratulate him on his myriad achievements and thank him for contributing so much to the field of education. Mr. R.K. Khosla. One of our ace authors, Mr. Khosla, has a teaching experience of about 50 years, which speaks volumes about his love for the subject. It also proves that he has always been among the books, first as a student and then as an author. Besides being the co-author of a number of accountancy and business studies books, which serve various education boards, Mr. Khosla has also been faculty member of Northern India Regional Council of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India. He's also been faculty member of NIRC of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. With such a vast teaching experience behind him, we feel elated to have him as an author. I now request the host, Dr. Grewal and Mr. Khosla, to take you through today's webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Malik, for the very kind words. But allow me to reintroduce both Khosla sir and myself that we are still students of accountancy. So now, dear students and dear teacher colleagues, CUET examination is just about 2 days away. Its first test is on the 15th and will be conducted over a period of 10 days and will end on August 10, 2022. We all know, it's only statistics now that I'm sharing with you, that 86 universities are going to accept the CUET results for their admission purposes. And out of these 86 universities, 43 are central universities, 13 are state universities, 12 are deemed universities, and 18 private universities. So such a large number of universities are going to accept CUET results for admission. And this is the first year. There is a lot of confusion because how the examination will be conducted, what type of questions are likely to be there in the examination, and various questions in the minds of the students. So we'll try to sort them out by discussing it one by one, but still if you have any questions, you can always put in a query. But before I proceed on to that, what are the essentials of good performance? I'm sure all of you must be ready for the examination because it's only about 3 days away, 3-4 days away. So what are the essentials of good performance? Keep your concentration always high, not only while preparing, but also when you're in the examination hall. And examinations are going to be conducted on computer. It's going to be computer-based test. So your results are going to be out as soon as you can, as soon as you finish your examination, or what schedule NTA has decided. But in doing the accountancy paper, you will not be allowed to use calculators. So your calculation skills have to be good, like in your CBSE 12th board. Even CBSE does not allow using calculators. So your mental ability, your skills to do the calculations manually has to be very good. Now all the questions are going to be MCQ based. They are going to be either standalone MCQs or case-based MCQs, maybe sequencing, matching, and combination with single answer questions. And in 45 minutes, you will have to do 40 questions. That means your accounting principles and concepts should be absolutely clear so that you take very less time to answer the question. No read time is likely to be allowed. So that means straight away when you get the question paper on your screen, you start answering one by one. So that means your understanding of the accounting principle and concepts have to be very good. My suggestion would be read the instructions very, very carefully, and also each question thoroughly to understand what is to be answered, because identifying in the stem of the question what is the question to be answered, and based on that you will be selecting the correct alternative. So for that you have to read the question very thoroughly and also understand it at one go, because In 45 minutes, you have to do 40 questions. In every question, there is a keyword which will influence the answer to the question. So what is that keyword? You have to identify it. I'm going to share with you certain examples that in a standalone MCQs, in the how to attempt your case study based questions, how to attempt matching questions, sequencing question, and also combination with single answer in the using minimum of time in answering those questions. But to practice, you must practice a lot in these 4 days now, 3-4 days. Lot of MTPs should be done, and so that your ability to answer the question in 40-45 minutes, you achieve it. We have already shared 5 MTPs in various teacher groups. If you are a student, request your teacher to give it to you. It has the answer key also in the book, or that is test fit. We had promised that we will give you more question papers, MTPs, which we have done. Now, how to attempt standalone MCQs? There's a question in front of you. A, B, and C are partners. C retired on 31st December 2020. And as per the agreement, the accountant prepared the financial statements as on that date. The share of profit of C was determined as rupees 12 lakhs. Account that will be debited to transfer C's share of profit to his account will be, there are 4 choices: profit and loss suspense account, profit and loss appropriation account, profit and loss account, and 4th option is none of these. Now, what is the key word in this question, in the STEM? It is, answer will be profit and loss appropriation account, because the key word is determined. The profit share of C is determined. So that is the key word. Whenever the profit has been determined, it is always distributed amongst the partners through profit and loss appropriation account. Where the profit is estimated, it is retiring partners, capital account is credited through profit and loss suspense account. So there's a difference between estimation and determination. In this case, in this question, the profit share of C is determined. That is why it will be distributed through profit and loss appropriation account. Second question. Interest on capital is always an appropriation of profit. Therefore, it is transferred to the debit of. Now, in this, keyword is always. It is not always that it is transferred to the debit of profit and loss appropriation account. So it can be, if it is a charge, interest on capital can be a charge. When it is a charge, it is through the profit and loss account. So always word is the key word in this. If always word was not used, then yes. Then question would be, interest on capital is an appropriation of profit, and therefore it is transferred to the debit of profit and loss appropriation account. But now, because of the use of word always, the correct answer is none of the above. Right? So in this question, always is the key word. While doing your case study based MCQs, first read and understand the questions to be answered, because a lot of material in the case study is not relevant. It is the story built around the data which is used for answering the question. So my suggestion would be, first read and understand the questions that are to be answered. Thereafter, go and read the case study and determine the relevant information to answer the questions. Out of that paragraph, you will have very less number of data which is relevant to answer the question. Peruse the case study and identify the information relevant to the questions, because large part of it is not relevant. Next step is to follow the elimination process, eliminating the choices that are outrightly incorrect. So let us also take an illustration of this. You have the case study. A and B were in partnership without a partnership deed, without a partnership deed. That is an important word. On 1st April 2020, they had capitals of rupees 5 lakhs and rupees 3 lakhs respectively. General reserve existed in the balance sheet at rupees 50,000 and profit and loss account credit of rupees 1 lakh. On 1st April 2020, A advanced rupees 1 lakh as loan to the firm, and the firm advanced loan of rupees 50,000 to B. Both the loans were without an agreement. Interest on capital is to be allowed at the rate of 5%. So loss on for the year before allowing and charging interest on loan was 50,000. Now, questions. First question is, interest on capital may be or will be paid out of accumulated profit, that is credit balance of profit and loss account, paid out of general reserve, not to be paid because of the loss in the current year, and to be paid, which will increase the loss for the year. Now we all know that if there is no agreement on interest on capital, it is to be allowed only if there is profit during that year. So all this information, though, out of all this information, only one line is relevant. Loss for the year before allowing and charging interest on loan was 50,000. There's a loss. So it means all the other information is not relevant. Now, coming to the second question. Interest on loan by A will be, now A has advanced 1 lakh rupees to the firm and there is no agreement. So interest on loan by A will not be allowed because there is no agreement, will be allowed at the rate of 6% per annum out of profit and loss account credit of rupees 3 lakhs. To be allowed at the rate of 6% per annum by debiting general reserve, or will be allowed at the rate of 6% per annum, and loss for the year will increase by 6,000 rupees. We all know interest on loan by partner is a charge against profit. So whether the firm incurs loss or earns profit, interest on loan by partner has to be paid. And the relevant information is A advanced 1 lakh rupees as loan to the firm and there is no agreement. So it means he will be paid allowed interest at the rate of 6% per annum, and loss because of this will increase by 6,000. It means all other information has become irrelevant. So in this we determine that which is the relevant information. For that we have to have our concepts and accounting principles absolutely clear. Third question is, interest on loan to B will be charged at the rate of 6% per annum, and loss for the year will increase by rupees 3,000, decrease by 3,000. B will be charged at the rate of 6% per annum and profit and loss account will be credited. Will be charged at the rate of 6% per annum and general reserve will be credited, not to be charged. So the correct answer is D, not to be charged. Why? Because there is no agreement between the firm and the partner, or there is no agreement amongst the partners themselves. So when firm has given loan to the partner and there is no agreement, interest is not charged, because the Partnership Act 1932 provides only for allowing interest on loan by partner. So all other information, you will see a very large part of the case study information is not relevant. Only one line is relevant to answer this question. The firm advanced loan of rupees 50,000 to B. Both the loans were without an agreement. That is important, without an agreement. So no interest is to be allowed. No interest is to be charged. Now coming to another kind of MCQ, which is attempting matching questions. Match list 1, which are the provisions of the Partnership Act, with list 2, which are the matters with which the provisions are related. And you have to select the correct answer using the codes given below. So you have list 1 and list 2, and also 4 options. Which is the correct option? Interest is allowed at the rate of 6% per annum. Now, this is the A part of list 1. And the fourth part of list 2, loan given by a partner to the firm. If a loan is given by a partner to the firm, 6% interest is allowed at the rate of 6% per annum. So A matches with 4. Coming to the options part, A is 1. So this cannot be the answer. In second, A matches with 4. Yes, this answer is possible. 3, A is given as third option, which is not possible, is incorrect. And the fourth one is, again, A matches with 4. So this possibly. So out of the 4, we have eliminated 1 and 3. 2 and 4 are the possible correct answers. So now we go to the next one, which is no interest shall be charged on drawings of a partner. Because Partnership Act says if the partnership deed does not provide for charging interest on drawings, interest will not be charged. So B matches with 1. That means second option is also ruled out. And as a result, fourth option is correct. So we don't have to go any further. Out of the 4, 1 option is correct. So fourth option is correct, and which we have determined after matching only 2 items in list 1 with 2 items in list 2. That is how you can save time in the examination. Such questions can be solved in not more than a minute. And how to attempt these sequence questions? Again, that we will answer this through a illustration. The correct sequence in which discount or loss on issue of debentures is written off at the end of the year is statement of profit and loss, capital reserve, securities premium reserve, or general reserve. Students, if in the question paper, instead of securities premium reserve, the term used is securities premium, it also means same. So you have 4 options. One is 1, 2, and 4. We'll see which is the correct one. So correct one, statement of profit and loss, we do not write off. First, for the first instance, we write it off from securities premium reserve. So option 1 and option 2 are ruled out. Only possibilities left are 3 and 4. And next we write it off from statement of profit and loss. Now that means option 4 is also ruled out. So only option correct is 3, third option. We need not find the correct sequence for the remaining items. Now attempting questions with single answer questions, combination with single answer questions. You have the question before you. Which of the following are added to determine net profit before tax and extraordinary items if starting from profit as difference between closing and opening balances of surplus, that is balance in statement of profit and loss. And what are the items given? Goodwill amortized, transfer to general reserve, loss on sale of marketable securities, interim dividend paid during the year, provision for tax. So what is the question? First of all, determine net profit before tax and extraordinary items. So let us see, is goodwill adjusted? No. So that means C and D options are ruled out. We come to B, that is transfer to general reserve. Yes, that is adjusted to the difference between closing and opening balance of surplus, that is balance in statement of profit and loss. So option A and B are the possible correct answer. Now go to the next item, which is loss on sale of marketable securities. Yes, this is also adjusted, and that means A and B are still possibly correct answer. Then come to interest interim dividend paid during the year. This is not adjusted to profit. That is difference between closing and opening balance of surplus. So that means option B is incorrect. This we have found out after determining 4 items. So this way, the 5th item we don't have to look into, because out of the 4 options, 1 is correct. So dear students, this was how you could attempt the question paper in 45 minutes. You will have 50 questions in the question paper, out of which you have to do 40. And it is likely that there will be 4 questions from computer's part. So you must do the computer part also, which is in the syllabus. If you do not do it, then your choice reduces from 50 questions to 46 questions. You have to do 40 questions then out of 46. So this is how you can do the questions within the time allotted to you. Now I will request my colleague, Mr. R.K. Khosla, to take you through the various chapters of syllabus, the important points of the chapter, so that you don't miss out in your examination. So Mr. Khosla, please.
First topic is not-for-profit organization. In the financial statement of not-for-profit organization, we see the 3 parts. First is the receipt and payment account. Other is the income and expenditure account. And last is the balance sheet. The important point of receipt and payment account is, first, it is a summary of cash transaction in a classified manner under the proper heads. In receipt and payment account, the important point is all the capital as well as the revenue, receipt and payment are recorded, whether they are relevant to the current year or the previous or the coming years. And this account always starts with the opening balance of cash and bank, and closing ends with the closing cash and bank balance. It is a real account. Non-cash items will never be entered in the receipt and payment account. And this account is absolutely based on cash basis of account. Now there is a question, like in the MCQ, out of the following, which one is based on cash basis of accounting? One is the income and expenditure account, profit and loss account, receipt and payment account, revaluation account. Now my correct answer is receipt and payment. The important point is, if this is the account which is based on cash basis of accounting, no cash transaction will never be entered in the receipt and payment account. Second is income and expenditure. It is a nominal account, or we can say revenue and expense account. It shows the current year revenue expenditures, whether we have paid or not, and current year revenue income, whether we have received or not. So this account is absolutely based on accrual basis of accounting. This is very important point. Which account is based on accrual basis of accounting? My simple answer is, this is in the case of not-for-profit organization, that is an income and expenditure account. Now the question is, what is the role of balance sheet in the case of not-for-profit organization? Balance sheet, this will show the financial position of the organizations. So the important items in the NPO is, one is the subscription. Subscription, this is the income source of NPO. Very important is being following the accrual basis of the accounting while preparing the income and expenditure account. Current year subscription should be credited, whether we have received or not. And for this, we have to adjust the outstanding incomes or income received in advance. The simple principle is that for computing the current year subscription, current year outstanding subscription means the subscription which is earned but not received, it should be added. But last year should be deducted. Current year, last year advance, it must be added. But current year advance, it must be deducted for computing the current year subscription. So now the very important point is whether the subscription received in advance is related to the last year or to the present year. Subscription received in advance is a part of liability in the balance sheet, and subscription accrued or outstanding that will be yet to be received, it must be shown in the balance sheet. And second issue is, while preparing the NPO accounts, consumption of any consumable items. The basic principle is what amount we have consumed during the year, that must be debited to the profit and income and expenditure account. Being following the accrual basis. Accrual basis. Now, how we can calculate the consumption? The basic principle is the opening stock of the item plus purchases minus the closing stock. Sometimes, maybe the purchase is not given. It can be calculated by the preparing the creditor's account of that particular items. If the purchase is given, then there is no need to prepare the creditor's account. And the stock of the particular item will also be appear in the balance sheet, being an asset. Next, sometimes we have to calculate the loss on sale of some fixed assets, depreciation. Like question says, in the beginning, a car has a furniture of ₹2,000 and show it 1,080. And question says a part of furniture is sold, and after that depreciation has already been charged at the rate of 10%. Now the question is, what is the book value of the furniture sold? 1,080 is the value after charging the depreciation. That will be before charging, the value is 100, depreciation is 10. Now after charging, it will be 90. So obviously, when we calculate on this basis of this calculation, we get the result of 1,200. Now the closing balance of the asset, any furniture, is the 1,200 before charging the depreciation. Now question may be asked, what is the amount of depreciation? The simple answer is 120. If question says, if that furniture has been sold at a loss of ₹50, what is the selling price? Obviously, 750. If the furniture is sold at a profit of 100, then the selling price will be 900. So another point, in NPO, sometimes the value of investment is not given. Simple question says in the receipt and payment account is that the interest has been received at the rate of 7% on investment, that is say ₹1 lakh. 10,000. On the basis of this 10,000, we can calculate the value of the investment. So calculate by 100, you get the answer 1 lakh, and that investment will appear in the opening balance sheet as well as the closing balance sheet. It is possible if that some interest may not be received. Part of the interest is accrued, but that accrued interest should also be considered. कहने का मतलब बेस एक ही रहेगा कि रिसीव्ड एंड पेमेंट अकाउंट कैश बेसिस के ऊपर है, इनकम एंड एक्सपेंडिचर आपका एक्रूअल बेसिस के ऊपर है। इस चीज को अगर आप ध्यान रखेंगे फिर आपको क्वेश्चन करने में कोई नहीं है। और एक क्वेश्चन हम एक और ले रहे हैं, नेम द अकाउंट विच शो द सरप्लस और डेफिसिट। Options are as follows. First is receipt and payment account, income and expenditure account, profit and loss account, revaluation account. जो surplus or deficit है, this will be shown by the income and expenditure account. When surplus, when the income is over the more than the expenditure. When deficit, when the expenditure is more than the income. This is some important issue in the case of. Now the next topic is the partnership. Now, in partnership, the important thing is, first, the definition of partnership is very important. A partnership is a relationship between the persons who have agreed to share profit of a business, carried on by all or any of them acting for all. Now, essential feature is, there must be an agreement, mutual agency, there must be business, and sharing of profit. Now the question is, which one is not the essential feature of partnership? First is, there must be an agreement. Secondly, there must be business and must be legal, mutual agency, sharing profits equally. ये 4 पॉइंटों के अंदर देखना कि एक ऐसा पॉइंट है जो एसेंशियल फीचर में है, वो शेयरिंग प्रॉफिट इक्वली। पार्टनरशिप में कहीं नहीं ये कहा गया एक्ट में कि वो शेयर प्रॉफिट इक्वल करें, ने जान के इसलिए बोला शेयरिंग प्रॉफिट इक्वली। बांटते इक्वल कर सकते हैं अगर मान लो नहीं है, लेकिन उनके लिए कोई कंपल्शन थोड़ा नहीं है कि वो इक्वली बांटेंगे। अब सारी पार्टनरशिप का आगा हम सेकंड पार्ट देखते हैं, ड्राइंग्स के ऊपर। मेरे स्टूडेंट्स को कई बार कैलकुलेट करने में इंटरेस्ट ऑन ड्राइंग्स के ऊपर दिक्कत है। इसका एक बड़ा बेसिक फंडा याद कर ले। अगर एक फिक्स अमाउंट बिगिनिंग ऑफ द मंथ विथड्रॉ हो रहा है कंटिन्यूसली, मेरा एक सेंटेंस है रेगुलरली, फिर जो टोटल इंटरेस्ट होगा दैट विल बी इक्वल टू 6.5 मंथ्स होगा। स्टूडेंट कहते हैं ये कैसे कैलकुलेट किया? जो फर्स्ट ड्राइंग मैंने यूज की वो 12 महीने यूज की, लास्ट ड्राइंग जो भी है 1 महीना गया, 12 + 130 डिवाइडेड बाय 2, एवरेज पीरियड में आप कैलकुलेट करें, एवरेज पीरियड से आपको निकाल आएगा। अगर यही होता एंड में निकालता हूं तो ये आपका आंसर 5.5 आएगा। अगर आप मिडल में निकालेंगे तो 6 मंथ। और अगर मान लीजिए इंटरेस्ट का रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट दे रखा है और ये नहीं दे रखा, ये विड्रॉ का भी, तो आप 6 मंथ का एवरेज कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं। लेकिन एक मुद्दा आपको बहुत ध्यान रखना है, ये इंटरेस्ट ऑन कैपिटल के लिए भी है, ये सैलरी के लिए भी है, ये कमीशन के लिए भी है। वो क्या है? एमसीक्यू के अंदर जनरली स्टूडेंट कहां गलती करता है, जब उसको ये डिसाइड करना है कि ये एंट्री का नेचर क्या है। लाइक मैं कहता हूं इंटरेस्ट ऑन कैपिटल अकाउंट डेबिट टू पार्टनर्स कैपिटल अकाउंट, ये सब बच्चों ने पढ़ी। ड्राइंग सीरियस में इसका उल्टा हो जाएगा। व्हाट इज द नेचर ऑफ द अबव एंट्री? इस एंट्री का नेचर क्या है? ये रही 4 ऑप्शन आपके सामने, ट्रांसफर एंट्री, क्लोजिंग एंट्री, एडजस्टिंग एंट्री, रेक्टिफाइंग एंट्री। आम स्टूडेंट इसके ऊपर गलती कर जाएगा क्योंकि वो 2 एंट्री रट तो आता है, लेकिन वो ये सोचता नहीं कि इसमें एडजस्टिंग कौन सी है। ये दिस इज द एडजस्टिंग एंट्री। जो एंट्री फर्स्ट टाइम कैपिटल अकाउंट को हिट करेगी, याद रखना वो एडजस्टिंग एंट्री होगी, और जो हिट करेगी पीएनएल एप्रोप्रिएशन को वो क्लोजिंग एंट्री होगी। अब आप खुद अपना डिसीजन ले लीजिए, अब मुझे बताने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है। अगर इंटरेस्ट ऑन ड्रॉइंग्स होता, पार्टनर्स कैपिटल अकाउंट डेबिट, टू इंटरेस्ट ऑन ड्रॉइंग, ये एडजस्टिंग एंट्री होगी। लेकिन जब मैं कहता इंटरेस्ट ऑन ड्रॉइंग्स टू पीएनएल एप्रोप्रिएशन, ये आपके सामने क्लोजिंग एंट्री होगी। स्टूडेंट से भी ये खास अपील है, इस चीज को बहुत ध्यान रखें। और पार्टनरशिप के अंदर एक और भी बहुत है, वो कौन से कुछ रूल्स, कुछ प्रोविजन है, अगर पार्टनरशिप बीट नहीं है तो ये रूल होंगे। पहली बात, कोई इंटरेस्ट ऑन कैपिटल नहीं किसी पार्टनर को मिलेगा। पार्टनर से इंटरेस्ट ऑन ड्रॉइंग्स विल नॉट बी चार्ज, प्रॉफिट विल बी शेयर्ड इक्वली। अगर कोई पार्टनर फर्म को लोन देगा, उसको प्रोसेस 6% इंटरेस्ट का राइट होगा। अब ये क्वेश्चन पूछता है, व्हाट इज द नेचर ऑफ इंटरेस्ट ऑन पार्टनर्स लोन? एरिया, it is a regular practice of the firm, it is an appropriation of the profit, it is a charge against the profit, none of the above। ये चार्ज है बच्चे, जो आइटम चार्ज होती है वो पीएनएल अकाउंट को डेबिट होती है। चार्ज रेवेन्यू को रिड्यूस करता है, और याद रखना एप्रोप्रिएशन प्रॉफिट्स का होता है। और एक चीज और, सीक्वेंस के ऊपर अगर पूछ लिया जाए, इनको अरेंज करिए सीक्वेंस के अंदर, तो पहले चार्ज होगा, एप्रोप्रिएशन बाद में होगा। चार्ज फर्स्ट होता है, देन उसके बाद एप्रोप्रिएशन होता है। और इंटरेस्ट ऑन पार्टनर लोन, इसको पार्टनर को 6% देने का राइट होता है। ये पार्टनरशिप डीड अगर ना भी हो तो हाँ पार्टनर एग्री हो जाए, कोई परसेंटेज कर ले, लेकिन पार्टनर को ये नहीं कह सकता ये मेरे बेटे को एडमिट कर लो ना, ऐसा नहीं है कहीं पर। हाँ एग्रीमेंट हो, एक बात वो, कोई इंटरेस्ट ऑन कैपिटल नहीं मिलेगा, कोई इंटरेस्ट ऑन ड्रॉइंग्स नहीं आपसे चार्ज करेगा, कोई पार्ट क्लेम नहीं कर सकता सैलरी और रेम्युनरेशन का। ये आपको क्वेश्चन पूछ सकता है, इन द एब्सेंस ऑफ पार्टनरशिप डीड ए पार्टनर कैन नॉट पे फर्स्ट फॉर इंटरेस्ट ऑन कैपिटल, पार्टनर्स रेम्युनरेशंस, बोथ नन ऑफ द अबव। देखिए कितना मुकाबले का मुकाबला है, ये देखिए कितना क्वेश्चन को ट्विस्ट कर दिया। यहां सी ऑप्शन ठीक है, क्योंकि ना वो कैपिटल को ऊपर कर सकता है, ना वो सैलरी को कर सकता है। इसलिए मेरे दोस्त, क्वेश्चन को करते समय पहली चारों ऑप्शंस के ऊपर बड़ा ध्यान रखते हैं। आप पहले को देखते कभी डिसीजन ले लेना कि पहला ही ठीक है, पहले के तो आपके आइडिया आपका इंटरेस्ट है, आपको ठीक कर दिया, आपका तो आंसर गलत हो गया, तो दूसरा उसने कमीशन भी दे रखा है। तो मैंने ये खास इसके अंदर बताया। इसके बाद पार्टनरशिप के अंदर कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट इशू सर, क्योंकि टाइम बहुत थोड़ा है। सबसे पहला गुडविल। गुडविल का एक बेसिक प्रिंसिपल समझ लें। गुडविल इज क्लोजली रिलेटेड टू, कितने बड़ी एक ऑप्शन दे, गुडविल इज क्लोजली रिलेटेड टू, देखिए कितने टक्कर के मुकाबले, रेपुटेशन ऑफ द फर्म, profit of the firm, reputation of the partners of the firm, super profit। याद रखना गुडविल का जो गहरा संबंध है वो सुपर प्रॉफिट से। सुपर प्रॉफिट क्या है? ओवर एंड अबव द नॉर्म। इनफैक्ट गुडविल जो है, दिस इज द प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ऑफ एंटीसिपेटेड सुपर प्रॉफिट्स। दिस इज द प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ऑफ एंटीसिपेटेड सुपर प्रॉफिट्स। जो आपको कभी आने वाले टाइम को सब प्रॉफिट मिलेगा, उसकी प्रेजेंट वैल्यू वही तो गुडविल है। और गुडविल किसके ऊपर बेस है? कई फैक्टर है, एक बीच में बता रहे नहीं है इसमें से, लाइक नेचर ऑफ द बिजनेस इस पे है, रेपुटेशन ऑफ द क्वालिटी ऑफ प्रोडक्ट के ऊपर भी है, एक बीच में एरा कुछ और भी डाल दे, तो आपको उसको अंदर डिसाइड करना है। लेकिन सबसे ज्यादा गुडविल, और गुडविल का सारा कंसेप्ट जब तक पार्टनरशिप का कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है, till the partnership exists, the whole goodwill is based on the concept of sacrificing and gain। गुडविल का यही तो कहा गया। मैं इसके लिए हर वर्कशॉप में बोलता हूँ। एक ही लाइन मुझे लगी थी बहुत बढ़िया जिंदगी के अंदर, जिसको सारी लाइफ पढ़ाई, गुडविल क्या है? हिंदी बोल रहा हूं जरा, हिंदी के अंदर भी लोग सुनते गए। ख्याति क्या है? गुडविल को ख्याति कहते हैं। ये लाभ के भाग के त्याग का पुरस्कार है। लाभ के भाग के त्याग का पुरस्कार ही तो गुडविल और है क्या? जब भी चेंज इन प्रॉफिट शेयरिंग रेशियो होगी, जो पार्टनर सैक्रिफाइस कर देगा अपने शेयर को, उसको गुडविल मिल जाएगी, और जो गेन करेगा उसे गुडविल के रूप में देना होगा। और जिसका कुछ भी चेंज हुआ, ओल्ड भी हुई थी, न्यू भी रेशियो हुई थी, उसको गुडविल के ऊपर कोई राइट नहीं होगा। ये चेंज इन प्रॉफिट शेयरिंग रेशियो के अंदर है। लेकिन एक बात ध्यान रहे कि एग्जिस्टिंग गुडविल मस्ट बी रिटर्न ऑफ। वो पूछ सकता है कि आउट ऑफ द फॉलोइंग व्हिच आइटम मस्ट बी रिटर्न ऑफ। उसमें वो प्रेजेंट गुडविल, फ्यूचर गुडविल, गुडविल अपेयरिंग इन द बैलेंस शीट, ये गुडविल अपेयरिंग इन द बैलेंस शीट, वो गुडविल जरूर टाइप ऑफ करनी चाहिए। क्यों? क्योंकि जब चेंज इन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन होगा, प्रॉफिट शेयरिंग रेशियो चेंज हुई है, तो वो गुडविल। और यही कंसेप्ट एडमिशन में इसमें इनकमिंग जैसे होता प्रीमियम फॉर गुडविल डेबिट टू सैक्रिफाइसिंग पार्टनर्स। रिटायरमेंट हो रही है तो रिटायरिंग पार्टनर कह रहा है मैं फर्म से जा रहा हूं, लाओ मुझे दो, तो रिटायरिंग पार्टनर्स का कैपिटल क्रेडिट हो जाएगा। डेथ होगी, डिजीज पार्टनर्स का कैपिटल क्रेडिट हो जाएगा। पर मेरे दोस्त से ख्याल रखना, बाकी जिन्होंने गेन किया है उनका पार्टनर का कैपिटल जरूर डेबिट होगा। ऐसा भी हो सकता है जब रिटायर होता है, एक तो रिटायर होगा, किसी और का साथ साथ प्रॉफिट शेयर इंक्रीज भी हो रहा है, तो उसको भी डेबिट करना आएगा, उसको भी देखना पड़ेगा, हर चीज को देखना पड़ता है कि क्या पोजीशन आ रही है। मतलब मेरा मुद्दा एक ही है, जिसका शेयर इंक्रीज हो गया वो फॉर द एडजस्टमेंट ऑफ गुडविल मस्ट बी डेबिटेड, और जिसने छोड़ दिया अपना हिस्सा मस्ट बी क्रेडिटेड। आगे इसको फॉरवर्ड राइट ऑफ कर देंगे। एक कंसेप्ट हमारे यहाँ प्रॉफिट शेयरिंग रेशियो का है, दो रेशियो, सैक्रिफाइसिंग और गेनिंग रेशियो। इसका वैसे तो में बड़ा लंबा चौड़ा चर्चा हो सकती है, हम नहीं कर सकते, इतना टाइम नहीं है। याद रखिए एक चीज, अगर क्वेश्चन साइलेंट है तो सैक्रिफाइस और गेन ओल्ड रेशियो के अंदर ही होगा। दैट इज, अगर वो कहता है एक्स एंड वाई आर पार्टनर, दे एडमिट Z for 1/4 शेयर एंड कैलकुलेट अप करना था मुझे सैक्रिफाइसिंग रेशियो। ये देखिए बड़ा अजीब क्वेश्चन है। अगर एक्स वाई का कोई शेयर नहीं दे रखा तो इट मीन उनका शेयर इक्वल है, तो सर आपका जो सैक्रिफाइस आपने कुछ दिखाई नहीं स्पेसिफिकली, तो आपका सैक्रिफाइस भी 1/50 इक्वल होगा। ऐसे ही होगा एक्स वाई जेड 3:2:1 के अंदर रेशियो करते हैं, वाई रिटायर हो गया, अब क्या होगी इनका गेन, तो जो उनकी रेशियो है 3:1 के अंदर। ये चीज आपने बहुत ध्यान रखनी है। तो सैक्रिफाइस और गेन का क्वेश्चन आपके सामने आएगा। एक क्वेश्चन आपके पास रिजर्व के ऊपर है। जनरल रिजर्व जो होते हैं ये हमेशा पार्टनर में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हो जाते हैं। कई बार पार्टनर कहते हैं इसको नहीं एडजस्ट करना, तो थ्रू वो पार्टनर्स कैपिटल अकाउंट भी आप करते हैं। इस तरीके से चाहे ये चेंज इन प्रॉफिट शेयरिंग रेशियो हो, चाहे एडमिशन हो, रिटायरमेंट हो, डेथ हो। अब देखो इसी को करेंसी क्यों बना दो, the general reserve must be distributed among first among the old partner in case of change in profit sharing ratio, in case of admission of a partner, in case of a retirement, or all of the above। ठीक है। इसी तरीके से रिजर्व के अंदर एक वर्कमैन कंपनसेशन रिजर्व है। अगर कोई क्लेम नहीं है ओल्ड पार्टनर को मिल जाएगा। अगर रिजर्व के बराबर का क्लेम है तो पार्टनर को तुम्हें कुछ नहीं मिलने वाला, ये गया उनको एडजस्ट हो जाएगा। अगर क्लेम कम का है, पहले क्लेम एडजस्ट होगा, बैलेंसिंग फिगर वो होगा, वो अमाउंट विल बी डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड अमंग द ओल्ड पार्टनर्स इन देयर ओल्ड रेशियो। जो इनकमिंग पार्टनर कोई क्लेम नहीं कर सकता ये उसमें मुझे दो, क्योंकि ये रिजर्व तभी क्रिएट किया गया था जब तू नहीं था, और ये शेयर ऑफ प्रॉफिट से हमने अपने प्रॉफिट से अलग किया हुआ हिस्सा है, इसके सब ओल्ड पार्टनर का है। ऐसे ही इन्वेस्टमेंट फ्लक्चुएशन रिजर्व के ऊपर कर सकते हैं। ये इसके सारा प्रिंसिपल है। अगर बाय द वे इसी सिचुएशन में the claim is more than the reserve, then the difference will be adjusted to the revaluation account. Another account is the revaluation account. This account will show the revaluation of asset and reassessment of liability. सर इसके ऊपर ये क्वेश्चन बता रहे, name the account which show the result of revaluation of asset and reassessment of liability. तो आपको याद रखना ये revaluation है, ये nominal account, increase in asset और decrease in liability being a nominal account, इस अकाउंट पे क्रेडिट नहीं जाती, इसकी रिवर्स सिचुएशन इसके अंदर डेबिट जाती है। इस अकाउंट का क्रेडिट साइड अगर ज्यादा है तो समझिए गेन है, और इस गेन के ऊपर भी राइट सिर्फ ओल्ड पार्टनर का है, इनकमिंग पार्टनर कभी भी नहीं कर सकता है। और इसी तरीके से रीवैल्यूएशन अकाउंट के साथ साथ हम ये कर सकते हैं। आगे चलिए, रीवैल्यूएशन अकाउंट का हो गया, मैंने आपको रिजर्व का बता दिया, इश्यूज के बता दिया। कंपनी के अंदर एक इंपॉर्टेंट इशू भी हम ले रहे हैं, डिसोल्यूशन के अंदर एक अकाउंट बनाते हैं जिसको हम रियलाइजेशन अकाउंट कहते हैं। रियलाइजेशन अकाउंट डिसोल्यूशन के टाइम रिजल्ट शो करेगा रियलाइजेशन ऑफ एसेट्स और सेटलमेंट ऑफ लायबिलिटी का ऊपर हमारा रिजल्ट शो करता है। लेकिन कभी एक क्वेश्चन पूछ सकता है कि ऐसा कौन सा अकाउंट है जो एक ही बार बनता है पार्टनरशिप पेज लाइफ के अंदर, दैट इज टाइम की कमी मुझे पता लग गई है, मैं जल्दी कर रहा हूं। इस तरीके से आगे कंपनी अकाउंट्स के अंदर भी हम देख के ले सकते हैं। याद रखना, जब भी फूड फीचर होगा शेयर कैपिटल अकाउंट हमेशा कॉल्ड अप वैल्यू से आपको डेबिट करना है, ये बात बहुत ध्यान रखेंगे। और जिस समय फोर फीचर के बाद रीइश्यू होता है, रीइश्यू आप अपनी टर्म्स के ऊपर कर सकते हैं, और इसका जो गेन होता है वो याद रखना दैट विल बी ट्रांसफर्ड टू द कैपिटल रिजर्व। एंड इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज दैट only that part of the forfeiture will be transferred to the capital reserve to whom the shares are forfeited, जिसके शेयर्स forfeit करके reissue, forfeited shares are reissue, जिन शेयर्स को हम forfeit करके reissue कर देते हैं उन्हीं का गेन याद रखना कैपिटल रिजर्व के अंदर जाता है। और अगर बाय द वे ये शेयर आपने फेस वैल्यू को ऊपर कर दिए या अबव दी फेस वैल्यू, फिर तो सारा ही आपका गेन ही गेन है, एंड गेन विल बी ट्रांसफर टू द कैपिटल रिजर्व। इंपॉर्टेंट कंपनी के अंदर ये चीज थी। डिवेंचर के लिए खास बात याद रहेगी कि डिवेंचर हमेशा इसका इंटरेस्ट फेस वैल्यू के ऊपर कैलकुलेट किया जाएगा, और डिवेंचर हमेशा क्रेडिट फेस वैल्यू के ऊपर होगा। मेरे दोस्त, रिडम्पशन होगी तब भी हम फेस वैल्यू को कंसीडर करेंगे, हम इसकी सीधी एंट्री कर देते हैं, बैंक अकाउंट डेबिट टू डिवेंचर एप्लीकेशन एंड अलॉटमेंट, डिवेंचर एप्लीकेशन अलॉटमेंट टू डिवेंचर अकाउंट। अगर ये प्रीमियम हो, प्रीमियम क्रेडिट कर देते हैं। जब अगर इसको रिडम्पशन करनी है, रिडम्पशन के टाइम ये रिवर्स एंट्री हो जाती है, डिवेंचर अकाउंट डेबिट हो जाते हैं टू डिवेंचर होल्डर हो जाता है, डिवेंचर होल्डर डेबिट टू बैंक हो जाता है। और रिडम्पशन के टाइम एक जो आपकी अनलिस्टेड कंपनी होते हैं उन्हें 10% रिडम्पशन के टाइम DRR क्रिएट करना पड़ता है, डिवेंचर रिडम्पशन रिजर्व। दिस इज अ रिजर्व क्रिएटेड फॉर द रिडम्पशन ऑफ, और इनको जितना रिडीम करने होते हैं उसका 15% की DRI होता है, वो भी आपको क्रिएट करना होता है। इंपॉर्टेंट रेशियोज कई आपने देखे, करंट रेशियो, करंट एसेट, करंट लायबिलिटी का रिलेशन शो कर रहा है, क्विक रेशियो, क्विक एसेट, करंट लायबिलिटी का शो करता है, ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट रेशियो, ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट रेवेन्यू फ्रॉम ऑपरेशन का रिलेशन शो करता है, ट्रेड रिसीवेबल टर्नओवर रेशियो, रेवेन्यू क्रेडिट रेवेन्यू फ्रॉम ऑपरेशन अपॉन द ट्रेड एवरेज ट्रेड रिसीवेबल, इस तरीके से रेशियो कैलकुलेट की जा सकती है। और इंपॉर्टेंट इशू यार इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इज इन केस ऑफ व्हाइल कंप्यूटिंग द करंट रेशियो, provision for doubtful debt must be deducted from the trade receivable. The reasoning here we see the solvency position of the organization. But while calculating the trade receivable turnover ratio, this should not be deducted. Here we see the efficiency of the collect agencies. The important ratios are divided in the four groups. One is the solvency, quick ratio, current ratio. The other liquidity, solvency, efficiency ratio, and profitability ratio. And profitability, gross profit ratio, net profit ratio, return on investment. In cash flow statement, comparative statement, there are four comparative statement part. One is the comparative income statement, other is the comparative balance sheet, one is the common size statement. Common size statement is divided into two parts. One is the common size income statement and other is the common size balance sheet. And comparative statement is the horizontal analysis, like this. This is the horizontal. And comparative common size is the vertical. And vertical in income statement, common size income statement, the base is the revenue from operations. Revenue from operation. And in the balance sheet, the total asset of the firms. Last, in cash flow statement. Cash flow statement, 3 activities are divided into the 3 groups. First is the principal revenue producing activity, that is the operating activities. Second activity, these are related to the acquisition and disposal of the asset, that is the investing activity. And other is which change the size and composition of orders and borrowed capital, that is the financing activity. These are the 3 activities, and aggregate of these 3 activities will show the net increase in cash and cash equivalent. And when we add the opening cash and cash equivalent, we get the closing cash. And important is provision for tax. If the no information is given, last year provision must be paid, and current year provision should be made while computing the operating. Proposed dividend, if the question is silent, last year proposed dividend will be paid, and current year proposed dividend should not be touched. Still, the reason is this is not approved by the AGM. So in cash flow proposed dividend, only the current year proposed dividend will be considered. Previous year proposed dividend will be considered, and current year will not be discussed. And depreciation will be added while computing the operating activities, and interim dividend, it will be first added and finally it will be shown as a financing activity. Important thing is which one is the principal revenue producing for every type of organization, like paid, salary paid. Which one is the one activity which will be shown as a investing for all organization, purchase of goodwill. Dividend paid is financing activity, all of these companies, whether financial or not. So cash flow statement, that is a statement which show the inflow and outflow of cash and cash equivalent. It also shows the change in cash and cash equivalent. So this is a theory. ठीक है जी, जो इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं इशू जिसके ऊपर इतना टाइम था, समय की सीमा होती है, तो जल्दी हो गया.
Thank you very much, Khosla ji. And you have wonderfully covered all the topics within a short time of 30 minutes. And I'm sure the participants must have benefited out of it. I must thank Sultan Chand Sons Private Limited for actively participating and organizing this webinar for the benefit of the students, as they always do. So thank you, Sultan Chand Sons. And Khosla ji also wants to say something, please. Khosla ji.
जितने स्टूडेंट हैं उनके लिए बेस्ट विशेष है कि आप इस एग्जाम में नहीं, अपने जीवन के हर एग्जाम में बहुत आगे तरीके से पढ़ें और सफल हों. और ये वेबिनार हुआ, इसके लिए सुल्तान चंद की पूरी टीम का बहुत बड़ा सहयोग है. इसके लिए भी हम बहुत आभारी हैं. थैंक यू जी.
Thank you, Dr. Grewal and Mr. Khosla, for guiding students on the upcoming accountancy test. I'm sure your important suggestions will help them sail through the all-important test. We at Sultan Chand Sons Private Limited wish all the students taking the test all the very best. God bless. Thank you all.
Thank you.